What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Habs Tonight playoff postgame show. We got myself, Drew, Steffi, and the one and only Dutch Gretzky down below. What's going on, you guys?
What's up?
Man, how we doing, Deeksy?
I'm fired up, if you can't tell.
Yeah, well, rightfully so, buddy. You know, like, what a night. What a night. Outside of Montreal Canadiens fans, I don't think anyone thought this was possible.
Yeah, we kind of heard that from a certain media member the other or last week or whatever. So Craig Button, eat your freaking heart out, bud. That's all I gotta say.
He followed it up today on TSN today too, saying Toronto would rather play or it'd be a harder challenge against Ottawa or something. Just an absolute slap to Montreal. So
wow,
suck on that one, Craig. Get back to your top 100 prospects or something. You might be more efficient at doing that.
Oh my gosh. Fire. Man, that's crazy, man. Steffi, what's your initial reaction just in general right now?
I mean, the stress level's finally coming down a bit, but that was so exciting. Holding on at the last minute too. I mean, I obviously believed we could, but yeah, it's a great game one.
Yeah, we had to get over that first period thing. Like we talked about it before we went on air. Like the Tavares thing really soured this game for me at the very beginning. It was just the worst way to start a series, seeing Johnny T go down that way. So I'm glad that I eventually forgot about it. Like I tried to, but it was hard to at the same time,
Yeah, that was crazy, right? Like Montreal has an unbelievable start. Everything you could ask for in the first 10 minutes there. They're physical. They're controlling play. They're clogging up the neutral zone. They're every puck Toronto dumped went right to Price. It was unbelievable. Like the game plan was perfect for the first 10 minutes. And then that happens. And it just really like, I don't know how many games I've seen. I don't know about you guys where like it was just I know there's no fans, but it was dead silence. Like the announcers didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
You could tell when they were he was trying to get up by the looks of it, and then the trainer's trying to tell him to go down. And then, he kind of rolls back. It looked like his eyes were rolling back. That was a really scary situation. I don't remember ever seeing a situation in a live game where it was so quiet, right?
Oh, it was eerily quiet. Even my wife's like, what's going on right now? Like she's on her laptop doing her thing. And like it was dead silence. And like when he went down and he was like woozy there, like I think I got a little choked up, inside. Just
oh yeah,
really awful to watch that, man. So
right. Like Steffi, what did you think? That was crazy, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, as a player for you, either teammates or opposing team, like, how do you get back into the game after something like that? And because I don't know, I felt like sick to my stomach too. That was just so hard to watch. But
yeah, like I've been in a couple situations where guys were seriously hurt, and it was like really awkward when it's your teammate. You're obviously so concerned. This is your 20 best friends. It's really hard to get that emotional level back, and you could see it for Toronto. For the rest of the first period, they were finished. Yeah. And then they regrouped between the first and the second. But even as just an opponent, you'd never want to see someone go like that. That was just, it was so scary the way he was falling back, and then they stretch it, and then when the other team's doctors are coming out, like it's pretty serious. So all the best to him. I hope he's okay. And that was just a really scary moment.
Yeah, when he put the thumbs up, that was nice to see and all, but just I guess I've just like watching that live was tough. Just I got a lot of respect for John Tavares. You think of the World Juniors, what he's done with Canada, with Subi, just the player for Canada he's been. I mean, he was injured in the 2014 Olympic run, but I mean, just like when the Leafs got him, I was like, holy smokes, like this team could really turn it around with this guy. I knew he would get the C. I knew Matthews wasn't going to get the C. Mm-hmm. I just felt like he was more of a natural leader, and we don't even know if he's going to return in this series. I guess we're going to keep an eye on Twitter, and but we have to address it now because I mean, as much it was nice to enjoy the high of winning and all, it was a weird game in that sense because for a while took me a while to get back into it too. So
yeah, and then let's talk about the fight there, where like I'm all for guys standing up for their teammates and everything like that. It was just, I personally, I thought it was one of the weirdest fights I've watched. I didn't feel good about it. I think because, such a serious injury before and the emotional level is obviously not there. And then a fight, it was weird for me. What'd you guys think?
Perry was clearly concerned and scared for Tavares too, and felt really bad. Like, obviously he knew he had to, like, if Foligno asked, he wasn't going to say no, but yeah, you could definitely tell that it was weird. Like, it wasn't the kind of fight that usually happens after like a big hit or something. Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah, there was a quote that came out from John Liu just regarding what Nick Foligno was saying to Corey Perry, and it said, Nick said, "Let's settle it now. I know it's an accident. Tavares is our captain." So I think Foligno also not having a lot of not being a big factor with the Leafs lately, maybe just felt like I got to do something. Somebody was going to do it, maybe, right?
Right. You got to respect it too. You know, I fought Nick a couple times, really honest guy. So, you know, he's not one of those guys that's, it didn't look like he was coming up and he's like, you know, we're going and you have no choice. You know, there was a conversation there, and obviously Weber came over and Perry was going to go right away. You could tell he was going to, he's a character guy. He's going to own up for what happened, even when, you know, and I think in a lot of people's opinion, that was incidental. Like, there's no possible way he could have meant to do that. You could see in the replay, he's turning, he's watching the play, and then by the time he looks up, you can't jump on the ice and get out of the way. Like, he just didn't have time.
Yeah, like he had his leg up, he flew. That's what he was trying to do. The reason he like elevated was because he was trying not to hit him.
Right.
Yeah, he was trying to jump over him, and just terrible timing.
It really was. It was really terrible timing. And of course it happened to Corey, right? Like, of course it's going to happen to Pears.
Yeah, you know, and he, you know, people will probably not give him the benefit of the doubt because of some of the things he's done. And you know, he's done some dirty things in his career, as did I, for sure. But that one to me is like, you know, you could tell he didn't mean it. And then he obviously felt terrible. You could see the camera was right on him after. So just a bad situation all around.
And even like earlier this season, though, guys, like I did notice that if there was ever a questionable play like that, he didn't seem to want to try to be that guy like that was going to make a stupid play like that. Like I remember he had a confrontation with someone earlier this season. I can't remember who it was, but just the look on his face, he was like he was like, come on. Like I wasn't trying to engage him there. Like I was just trying to, you know, do my job. And I wish I could cite the specific play, but the point being is that, like, my goodness, like if it was anybody else, like they're probably not going to give him give him as hard of a time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For 100%.
But you know, we have to address that, of course. And it was a moment in the game that happened early in the game, early in the series. And I hope for Johnny T's sake that he does get back in the series. I really have no idea where the situation is right now. Neither of us do. But if we get an update, I mean, anybody feel free to chime in the chat even too. I mean, like, you're welcome to interact with the show, guys. And I'll mention it really quickly here while we are still at the beginning of the show. Please, if you want to come on the show tonight and chat with us about the game, email us live at habstonight.com, and we'll gladly get you on the show. Love to welcome new callers when we do. So if you're a Leaf fan, you want to vent, you want to chat with us, we'll do it. We'll have a good discourse and be respectful. But you know, anyone and everyone is welcome to come on the show. So let us know if you want to do that live at habstonight.com. You'll see it at the ticker at the bottom of the screen there. And just jumping into, I mean, obviously, like I mentioned off the top of the show in the pregame with the Nick, you guys, about Carey having to come out and try to steal game one. And now that we're able to kind of a little bit depart from the obvious story of the Tavares situation in this game, the other story has to be Carey coming in and getting what I think is stealing game one.
No surprise from this guy over here, DC. I'm not surprised. He plays his best in big moments. Playoffs has always been Carey Price's time. And, you know, you saw him flip the switch last year in the bubble, and you could see it today. Like, he just looks so calm. He's handling pucks. How many rims did he take off in the first period? Like,
he was back there so quickly every time.
Every single, and Toronto finally figured out in the second period, started, you know, some soft chips or entering with some control, but he was unbelievable all night. The save on Marner and the 2-on-1 in the third period, just every one timer, he just makes it look easy. He gobbles it up. He slows the play down. You know, to have a chance to win this series, he's going to have to be their best player, and, you know, arguably outside of Josh Anderson tonight, he definitely was.
And to add to that, there weren't even that many lucky bounces for him. Like, he was just making great saves. Matthews hit that post, I think, in the first, it came pretty close. But other than that, I think the Habs had a lot more close chances, with Anderson having that open net and Riley making a nice block and other Armia having a good chance. I think we had a lot more close chances even, and Price just shut the door for us. Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we released a clip the other day, Weiser, about, you know, you and George's talking about the Carey Price factor in the playoffs, and it was on full display tonight. I mean, that's just the fact, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. And when he plays that well, like, he's immediately in Toronto's head, you know, because if Montreal comes out next game now and they score the first goal and then they get out of the first period up 1-0, then it starts to really get in your head. You're like, holy smokes, are we going to get one on this guy tonight? So he has that effect on teams. It's happened in the past, and I referenced it a lot from last year where like Columbus just completely just buried them and they just gave them nothing and they had no life. And it was a very similar game outside of the first 10 minutes of the second where Toronto, it had some chances. They started to get on the rush a little bit. I thought Montreal played a game that they need to win this series.
Just defensively, right? Like I don't know if I didn't notice Merrill a lot tonight. Maybe that was a good thing, but I felt like defensively they killed a lot of plays tonight.
Yeah, steady, very steady. Everybody played well, and I think Merrill. If you're not seeing him a lot, I think he's playing a well game. That's his game. He's defensively simple. He makes a good outlet pass early. You don't notice him a lot. At the end of the night, he's on the plus side of the game, and that's what they're going to need to win here.
So, what do you guys think about Jake Evans? Possible? I don't know. He didn't return to the game, so if he happens to be out, the logical decision would be to bring in KK next game. But based on what you guys saw tonight, is anybody else need to come in or out of the lineup based on what you saw?
How about it there, Steffi? Take the first one.
I mean, obviously unfortunate for Evans. I hope it's nothing too serious. But yeah, I think KK comes in and no one else should come out. I personally think Lehkonen had a hell of a game. He was giving that extra effort on every play just at the end there. I think when they pulled the goalie, just the extra dive to get the puck out.
Yeah.
He was killing penalties like crazy. I thought he had a really great game. So other than that, I don't think anyone else should come out. And yeah, KK seems like the logical choice if Evans is injured.
Yeah, and I thought Stahl, Anderson, Perry were good tonight. I thought that line was when they were out there, they were effective. Stahl had a good start to the game. He smashed, I don't know if it was Hall or Muzzin behind the net. He makes a great pass to Anderson there where he made that backhand forehand move. I thought he was solid. He was great in the circle. He played some big minutes for them. I didn't have him in my lineup, and I think he's taken a lot of flack obviously since he's came to the team. I thought he played great tonight. He's a veteran guy. You know what you're getting from him in the playoffs. And I think obviously KK is the easy choice to come in. And, does he hop on the fourth line, though? What do you guys think? I think maybe you move Stahl down in center of the fourth line and KK hops up on the third.
That was my exact thought. Like, that was the thing I was thinking before we actually came on and we were in the group chat. I didn't get a chance to mention it, but that was kind of the idea I had was
for sure
worst case. I mean, Stalzy did play a pretty decent game. Like he had a little more jump, like everybody does, right, in the playoffs, as you would know, Dale. And what is it about the playoffs? Like you've been, there's no fans right now, but for every guy on that team, like, is it just like a unison sort of energy thing? Like, where I just explain what that's like.
Yeah, it's just a different feel, regardless if you have fans or not, man. It's just you just get that feeling in the playoffs. I don't know what it is. It's really hard to explain, but it's just you just have endless energy and you just literally empty the tank every game. Where some of the games during the season, you're like, okay, we play tomorrow. This is a back-to-back. Not that you're taking shifts off, you're not giving 100%. There's just a little extra effort that you have in finishing a check or throwing a bigger check. And in the playoffs, every single night, every guy's 150%. And I'm finishing every check. I'm doing everything I have to, because that literally makes a difference in a series that goes 5, 6, 7 games. So I think, when you talk about experience, a guy like Stahl that has had plenty of playoff experience, he had that extra jump tonight, which was awesome. I thought the exact same thing.
And I feel like this is the first time in a while where we have a handful of guys with cup rings. So obviously that lends to the experience and just how much, like you said, the unison and coming together, like they know what it takes to win and how to be in the team like that.
One thing that does concern me is the goal scoring still. I think that for the Habs' sake, I mean, eventually the Leafs are going to rifle off some goals in this series. I think that's just kind of inevitable, I think. So defensively, I'm not really worried about the Canadiens, but offensively, I'm just thinking, I'm not saying bring in Caulfield, and I haven't shut up about him for like 6 months, right? Like that's not where I'm going, believe it or not, guys. Like, I'm not just saying
I thought you were for a second there.
It's fair. It's warranted. I was all fired up about the kid. And I think maybe he'll factor into the series at some point, maybe, but I just am concerned about the goal scoring. So whether it's KK comes in and plays with fire and then he hits the back of the net like he did with you guys in Pittsburgh last year, Dale, where something just clicked and then all of a sudden he was just everywhere after that.
Yeah, I mean, he could be a factor. There's no doubt. He comes in, he scratched game one. He's obviously going to come back with a little bit, he's pissed off. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's going to get in there and play hard. So, I can see that happening for sure. As for the goal scoring, I wouldn't say they had a lot of prime chances, but the chances were there tonight. Anderson could have had 3. Toffoli had a great chance in the second where he cut to the middle, and Campbell made a great save. Shea Weber had 4 or 5 glorious one-timers where not anyone else in the league can score from there but him and maybe Alex Ovechkin. But Campbell makes a couple good saves on those. On some nights, one of those goes in. So they had some chances. But I think the power play is going to be a huge factor coming in the next couple of games here. They got to find a way. You're going to have to get 1 or 2 in the power play if you're not going to score 5-on-5. So the power play is going to be I don't want to say it's a concern, but it's something that has to get going for them to win this series. There was a stat that was just. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Steffi.
No, just question. Like for Dale, what are your thoughts on the 1D and 4 forwards? Or, I mean, when they put 2D on at the end, it seemed to work a little better. But
yeah, I agree. I liked when Petey and Webby got out there. I wasn't quite sure about the second setup where Weber was on his forehand. I don't know what the plan was there on a couple of them. I don't know if it just happened in the rotation or their entry went wrong or something. But the 2 defense to me look better. I don't know. It's tough. You got to give Toronto credit. They got some really good killers and they killed really effective tonight. Campbell was really good in net. You can't say he played well. So you got to give some credit to Toronto, but if they're going to win this series, like I literally just said, their power play's got to kick in some goals here. So, obviously they'll watch the tape and the entries looked a little out of sync today. I think, they were trying to drop passes. They're coming in on the first one and then things got scrambly and then they kind of improvised after that and it didn't go well. So, if they can find some ways to you look in the second period where they're entering with speed and they're almost, two this way, 2 this way, D-man up the middle, and they were coming with speed. They were dangerous. So that might be something they'll look to do in game 2.
We have our first guest. We're going to bring him on in 1 second. And actually, you know what? Let's bring him into this conversation because I want to talk to you guys about the Leafs power play and their struggles and how they were unstoppable at one point, like a season and a half ago. So we're going to bring Bryce on. This is the second time on the show. Brycer, thanks for coming on to the playoff postgame show on Habs tonight, man.
Drew, you remember me. Good to be back on. Dale, pleasure to be on the show.
Of course.
Steffi, nice to meet you.
How are you, Bryce?
All in all, fantastic game.
Good, man.
Cheers. Yeah, I got a little H2O.
Excellent.
So, it's not vodka, but
We're talking about the Leafs power play. I had the whole, bullet points that I was going to talk about, but
you're prepared. Bryce is prepared, guys.
Beautiful.
Like he knows what he's talking about. He's been on before.
Yeah, fire away, Bryce.
Power play. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Take or give them 3 power plays and then score a shorty every time. Outscore them on their own power play. Not a problem. Yeah, I don't see any issue there. Although, I mean, Matthews had way too many looks and way too many chances for my liking, especially I think it was the second power play. It seemed like he was like really fired up. But
yeah,
that was just one thing that stood out to me, like watching them was, man, he's got a lot of room. Be careful, it worked out because Price was there, but
yeah, what can you really do? What can you really do to defend him though? Like he's so dangerous out there. He's such a good shooter. He changes the angles so good. Like, I wouldn't his where he hit the post was probably his best prime chance tonight, but he's so dangerous. I thought Montreal did a tremendous job of keeping him, he's in battles. He didn't have a lot of chances in the middle because he's so dangerous. So I don't know. I don't know if there's much better they can do,
I mean, Matthews got clean looks, but I mean, thankfully Price got clean looks at him too. And I mean, like, what more can you ask for in that circumstance? But I mean, it's only a matter of time, really. Like,
that's what I was kind of saying too. Yeah, like, and in that first save Carey made, I think it was on the Marner in the first period, like just the first save of the game. His shoulder was so square. Yeah, like that was just like I was just like, okay, he's in position, he's ready to go.
He looked tremendous. Just watching him in warm up, he looked tremendous. He was catching it, throwing it to his stick. I was getting so fired up. I knew he was going to play well. I knew.
Yeah, and then one thing too, I mentioned this in the pregame as well, but this is Carey's stage. I mean, I know Austin Matthews and the Leafs, like the fans are super fired up about the Leafs' chances in this series and just in general, the way they're going as a team. But this is Carey Price's stage, and they have. If I'm the Leafs, like I'm trying to take away that stage from him because right now he's experienced. He's won on this stage before. So how do you combat that if you're Toronto?
I mean, I don't know. Let's just keep your head down and keep on shooting, I suppose. It's, Carey looked like Carey always did, with the exception of, one time he goes to play the puck and it bounces over his stick. I mean, he made Campbell on the other end of the ice, as far as his puck handling skills are concerned, look bad. I thought Campbell played a pretty good game, but it's just, that's what Carey can do. Just his composure, his calmness. Like, it's been said for a decade about the guy, and it's been said for a reason. He's that good. And
what other bullet points?
Other teams look vulnerable.
Sorry to cut you off there, Brycer. I was going to say you had a couple other points you wanted to touch on there.
Oh, I just noticed a couple of things. Like, I mean, obviously the Habs physical game is what they needed to bring, and I thought that they brought it big time. But there's just a couple of things, like, from my perspective, like, it was great to see Edmondson just dump Hyman in front of the net, and, like, they showed the slow-mo replay. Fuck off. It's, but then there's even Sherratt. Matthews takes a hit on Sherratt. Sherratt takes a penalty for giving him a bit of a shot, but Matthews is just sitting there just grinning. And to me, I'm sure as a Leafs fan, you might think, oh, look at this, Matthews doesn't care, he's happy he drew a penalty. But to me, it's like, he doesn't want to engage, and he's scared. To my mind, if Matthews was on that same level, I guess, as far as being engaged and being willing to put it on the line, you're not obviously going to fight Sherratt, but not turning around, not acknowledging it, not standing up to the challenge, to me, at least, I think is a good sign going forward, that there is some psychological factor happening.
Yeah, you could say that for sure. I think if it continues to happen where he doesn't push back, then you're in his head for sure. I think at that point of the game, he's kind of like, okay, let me get on the power play. I'm going to score here. But if he continues to do that, then you're getting in his head. So I thought that was kind of a shit call too. Sherratt kind of gives everybody the little shove, little forearm shiver in the back of the head every now and then. So it was kind of a soft call, but there was a couple tonight.
Like, does that
both ways? There was a couple of soft calls.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Does that concern you at all, Dale? Like, I know Ben was a teammate of yours too. Like, and I'm not calling the guy out or anything, but I have seen it before where Webbs and Sherratt will try to antagonize, like, Matthews in front of the net with some cross checks to the back, things like that. Is that kind of once the Leafs power play, if it does get rolling, is that kind of a concern, or like, how are the refs going to gauge those battles?
Yeah, I think if you're Shea Weber, I think you get away with a little more than Ben Sherratt. I don't know if he's at that level in the league yet where refs kind of don't call penalties on you. I feel like, when you've played as long as Webbs has, they kind of give you those looks a little extra. But, I think it's okay. I think you can continue to play that game because they need to. It's got to be hard. It's got to be gritty, as long as Toronto's power play isn't firing. But they can't afford to give them that many looks, because it's not going to be continuing to shoot blanks very long. They have way too many good players. You kept Marner and Matthews off the score sheet tonight. It's probably not going to happen that many games in a row. So I would say, you got to be careful with that, but you got to be on the line. Webbs and Sherratt, they have to play that way. That's when they're most effective. And then, not many times are you going to see Matthews wanting to engage with these guys continuing when you're getting cross-check every time you go in there. Eventually you're like, fuck, I don't want to be near these guys anymore. Enough's enough. So it's a fine line.
Any other points that you have there, Bryce, or anybody stood out, or any lineup considerations you have going forward?
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about Evans, and I think that Evans really has, earned his spot. I don't know. It's nothing to take away from Stahl, and I know, Dale, you said, you thought he played well, and it's just like, I have a hard time believing that, if KK was in that spot, that he couldn't have played as well, or if not infused a little bit more. Just, I don't know. Stahl to me just does not seem engaged, and he hasn't seemed engaged for a while. And I don't know, like the puck battles and stuff like that, he's losing most of them. I barely see him with the puck with his feet moving. And I just think KK could bring a spark and bring energy, and hopefully it's not at the expense of Evans losing his spot. I don't know. Pace was one thing that I think maybe was lacking a bit that KK could bring. And as far as the lineup goes, I mean, Deschamps' experiment worked, so I'm not going to really bitch too much, but that's it. I'm still not sold on Stahl, and I just think that KK, I thought, earned his spot in the show. He's been there day in, day out all year long, and for him to not, get a start in this series, this incredible series, this event for a Hab, just seems unfair to me. give him a chance to shine. You know.
Welcome to the world of professional sports, Bryce. There's no such thing as fair.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's really unfortunate, man. I agree with you completely. Don't get me wrong, but there's no room for fair in that game, man. It's cutthroat business.
Well, that's pretty much it, guys. Yeah, thanks very much for having me on.
Hey, thanks for coming on, Bryce. Appreciate it, buddy.
Great to hear from you again, man. That was awesome to have you jump on.
For sure.
We'll see you again soon, brother.
Sounds good. Later.
All right, Bryce are jumping in. He's got that broadcast voice, though, doesn't he? Like he's got that deep bass.
It's great. Absolutely, it's beautiful.
So yeah, I mean, lineup is one thing, and just so you guys know, again, if you do want to come on the show, send us an email live@habsnight.com. Very easy to jump on and chat with us and share your thoughts about the game. Some people talking about Thomas Tatar, but I think I want to talk about Tatar and also Galley here, because I think Galley had a bit of a tough game tonight too. And I wouldn't say he played bad. I just mean like he's been out for a while. So maybe just touch on Tatar and Galley there, Weiser and Steffi.
Yeah, I'll jump on that one first. To me, I saw a couple. It might have been one shift in the first. I think Galley kind of got hung out there. Maybe it's a minute 10, minute 20. And you could see on the bench, he was absolutely sucking wind. And most guys after, a minute 20 shift, you're going to be sucking wind anyways. But I just saw a couple early. I don't know if his game conditioning is there yet. I don't know how much they've been skating, to be honest with you, in the last week or so to get ready, or how much he's been skating, or, almost sometimes when you're out of the lineup and you're hurt, you almost skate too much. You're bagging every single day and you're doing all this extra work because you think you missed that conditioning, and it almost kills you over a while. And I've had that a few times where, where I was scratched for long periods of time and I was doing way more work than the guys that were actually playing. And when I got back, I was exhausted. So I don't know if that's the case with Galley. That's kind of what I'm thinking is the case. And he's got his legs now. He played one with Laval. He played tonight. I don't know if they'll practice tomorrow, and then he'll be ready for game 2. I think he's going to play a lot better in game 2. He's got his legs now and his skating legs a little bit. And as for Tuna, he's been getting shit on a ton lately. And, I don't think he played bad. I wouldn't say he played bad. I think there was a lot of guys tonight that I don't know if they played their best game, which I think should be a positive for Montreal. But, when you watch the way Anderson and Pricey stepped up, it was hard to watch anybody else but those two guys. Steffi, what do you think?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, having someone like Anderson allows guys to kind of not take a night off, obviously, but if they're not going to have their best game, I feel like Anderson carried tonight every shift. Once Evans was out too, he was like double shifting. And I really like your point about Gallagher. Yeah, he probably was overstating and trying to get back into game shape. And at one point I did notice he was on for like a full shift, it seemed, and then they got a power play and he started the power play. So yeah, I think to your point, he's just not in his game shape yet, but I'm sure it'll come back even next game. And it's great to have someone like Anderson and Price there to pick up where they need help. And yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And Tuna is a guy that I said before, like, he's an offensive guy. He needs to score. And when he scores, then all of a sudden you just see a completely different player. When you haven't scored in a while, it's tough. You don't have that same confidence. He's one of those guys, he scores one early in a game and you see a completely different player.
That happened in the bubble last year, right? With Philly.
Yeah. And I think he had a stretch at the end of the year where he didn't score a lot either. And then he came in Philly, scored once, boom, he might have scored again in that game. And then he was like, it was like the switch went on. He was such a different player for the rest of the series. So if he can manage to get a goal, get his confidence, boom, he's going to be a completely different player.
And that line hasn't been together for a couple weeks now. So they just need to find it, because they were killing it before the injuries. And then they'll start gelling again, like the Dano Tatar Gallagher line. And I think
absolutely.
They'll come back.
I thought Phil was unreal tonight. He's so good as a shutdown center, and people expect, I don't know what they expect from him. And the thing with his contract and this stuff all year kind of shadowed his year, but he's so effective. When you watch the little things he does, the face-offs, he's just so effective. I loved him tonight. I thought he was awesome.
Yeah, Dano is very key in the face-off circle, and then just defensively, like the matchups, right? Like, and it's funny how it works, but like if you don't notice a guy as much, sometimes that means they're doing their job, right? So
absolutely. And think about the times he's winning faceoffs against Matthews, and then, you know, whether Montreal breaks the puck in or they dump the puck in, that's 10, 15 seconds you've taken out of his shift where the puck's not in Matthews' hands. So they got to continue to do that. And those guys will get frustrated. They're offensive players. They want to play with the puck. They want to be on the power play. So the less time you can take the puck away from them, the better.
Well, we out-hit them 55-27, I think it was. Montreal out-hit Toronto tonight, which is a pretty big number, and you saw the physical side for sure.
And they have to. That's I'm not gonna say the only way they're gonna win, but it's gonna be tight checking. They got to win these 2-1 games. They're not gonna get in a end-to-end game. You could see in the second when stuff started to open up, and Toronto really started to break out well, and Montreal was having one guy forecheck, and their forecheck was just all over the place. That Toronto was really taking it to them, and that's just not a game they can play because it'll be over quick. So it's got to be low scoring, grinding, physical, and then they got to continue that.
Thank you, Wendy, by the way. Your guys' thoughts? Well, Alex just asked about your thoughts, Dale, on Weber and Merrill. I think you touched on it earlier, but if you want to just run it again, just your thoughts on their pairing.
For sure, Alex. I thought they were great in my eyes. Like I said, Weber had some chances to score. He's one of those guys that can score with his one-timer back there. You know, if not, he's a diversion. They're having a guy there that has to stay in his lane, but I think it's so funny. You know, you could see guys that pretend they're in his lane, and then when they see the pass actually come over to him, they kind of like start to do the spin like this a little bit, and they're like, whoop, pretend that they're blocking it, but like they time it perfectly. Like I've seen it 100 times. It's so funny, but I thought the pairing was great. I kind of liked, I don't know what it was, TSN or whatever was breaking it down. And after the second, literally all 6 defense were within like 20 seconds of each other. And I thought that was awesome. And I think that's going to be key as they go along the series, using all 6 defensemen, keeping everybody fresh. And again, you don't know what Weber's dealing with right now, his hand, whatever else it could be. So I thought the pairing was great.
Here's a question just before we bring Adrian on here, because we got another guest, one of our regulars that wants to jump on. How do you look at inserting Romanov at this point, and who do you take out if you do?
Yeah, I don't even know, because you can't change that winning lineup right now, and I don't think it's so hard as a young guy to come in and jump into a series at that point. You're already putting him behind the 8 ball, and you know, I think he's a guy that can handle it. He's physical. He skates well. He defends well. But I just think you're handcuffing the kid now. You know, bring him in a game 3 or a game 4 or something. I think he's eventually going to get in the series. But as for tonight's performances, I wouldn't take anybody out.
And that's the thing too, is like, you know, can you not adjust? Like, when you win, is it just like a thing? Like you just can't tinker with the lineup based on that alone, getting the W? Or
yeah, I think that's huge. I haven't seen it very often in my career. You know, you just don't change a winning lineup. It's an easy excuse for a coach when he goes to the players the next day and you're like, well, why the fuck am I not playing? And he's like, well, I can't change a winning lineup. That's just like their easy excuse, right? So it's great. But, you know, I really like the way the deep pairings played today. So you could see the chemistry between all 6 guys already. So I wouldn't change anything just by the fact I thought everybody played great. And there's not one guy that I thought, man, he had a tough outing, might be worth switching out for game 2.
Right on. Well, Adrian, we're going to bring you in now. So thanks for coming on, man. What's going on tonight?
Awesome. Hey, not much. Thanks for having me on, guys. Dale, nice to see you again.
Hey,
hope everyone's doing well. And big win tonight. Yeah. I'm good. Yeah,
Huge.
Big win tonight. You guys satisfied with how it went, or do you think they could have played better? Or I mean, I missed most of the game. I was at work tonight, but I came home right as the third period started. So I was impressed with what I saw. Kind of took some penalty trouble near the ends, which is kind of nerve-wracking and biting my nails. But yeah, I think they played a pretty good game overall. Yeah, it was a nail biter, but yeah, it was good. What do you guys? How would you guys think of it?
It was good, man. You missed the crazy game. Yeah. Obviously, the first 10 minutes, Montreal came out hitting everything. Josh Anderson almost killed about 5 guys. He almost took Wayne Simmons' leg off. He was insane.
Oh, I saw a picture for that.
Oh man, he was shot out of a cannon every shift. It was incredible. And then the Tavares thing was crazy. Did you get a chance to see that?
Yeah, I actually did see a clip of it. I first off, I hope he's okay. That was a pretty freak accident. And obviously it wasn't intentional. I know Perry was trying to move out of the way last second. I really hope JT's okay there. But yeah, I think honestly that kind of shifted the momentum of the game. I feel, I guess, like the vibe kind of changed. And I didn't really understand the Foligno, why he went after Perry. Like I didn't. It wasn't intentional or anything, but I didn't really understand why he went after him. I know there's the whole code thing, but I don't know, it just didn't make sense to me. What did you guys think of the fight, the Foligno after Pairs?
Yeah, we just a little bit earlier, but Dale, if you want to touch on that, you said you fought Foligno a couple of times, so you would know better than we do.
Yeah, he's a pretty honest guy. I mean, and we heard the quotes for after the game. He said, he said, I knew it wasn't intentional, but he's our captain and we got to go. So you got to respect that. He's standing up for his teammate and setting the tone for the series. It was kind of a weird fight though, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love that shorthanded goal by Byron near the end of the game. My dad and I were watching it and jumped up when he scored. And I think you said earlier before I came on that they do have to try to get more better quality scoring chances and more scoring chances, because again the Leafs are going to start clicking, right? It's just the players they have, and I hope they start to click. I mean, Price played fantastic tonight. I made that huge save on Marner in the third. But yeah, I hope they could try to increase the goal scoring and the penalty trouble, maybe stay out of the box, and I think they'll be good for the series. Hopefully, I don't want to count they're hatched
for sure.
Yeah,
no, it was one of those games, right? And like that Byron goal was a highlight reel goal that you're going to see probably for a long time. He was falling down as he scored that goal. It was just ridiculous, and it made me feel better about this game because, like I said, it was kind of soured by the Tavares incident for a while. But seeing Paulie B, you just knew watching that play that he was going to beat the guy to the puck. Like you just saw him turn the wheels on, and he was gone. And
kind of a weird play by the D-man though. No, like to slide that early. Did you think it was weird?
I don't remember the play other than
it was a little bit
steamed it past him.
Yeah, like he literally.
What did you see, Dale?
Well, he dove from the blue line. Like I understand he could see Paulie was going to beat him, but he's still like Paulie's on his backhand there, cut into the net. I mean, it's a quick second play. I understand that happens in the game, but I just thought it was weird. He was diving from so far back. I thought it was crazy, but insane finish by Paulie, like down on his knee, up here, forehand, boom, incredible.
Yeah, since he fell, it fully fooled Campbell, so he went for the poke check, and Paul just tapped it in. It was so beautiful.
Sick. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that was like Crosby-esque, man. Like that was
like no one saw it coming.
He's
Crosby
always
comparison,
sorry.
No, go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, Byron, he's always I like when he comes on that, I guess like the forehand on that off wing, I guess, when he's trying to chase the puck, usually on the penalty kill. I've seen him in the past, and I had a good feeling about that play too, because I saw him coming on that off wing, on that right wing side, and I was like, okay, yeah, I think he's gonna take this one. And I didn't know about maybe scoring, but yeah, it was great. Yeah, no, I was pretty fired. I'm pretty fired up right now. It's good way to start the series, but the work isn't done yet, so job ain't done yet.
Buddy.
Yeah,
absolutely,
it's good.
Adrian, the last time you were on,
for sure.
The last time you were on, I'm pretty sure Chris Knuckles Nyland was chirping you about your background or something. Is that right?
That is.
That's like an honor.
That is right. Yeah,
badge of honor.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you guys, I tweeted to him the next day, and I was like, it was so funny that he was chirping my flags, and I have like the Raptors Carey. He was calling it like the United Nations flag or something. I was just it was comical. That guy was a riot. I love Knuckles. Yeah, it's awesome. He's a thing of beauty for sure.
I don't know if you saw Adrian, but next week we got Andrew Shaw, which apparently is his first interview since being retired. Dale, is that correct? Because
I have no idea. That's pretty special if it is. I have no idea.
Yeah, but Andrew Shaw going to be coming on the show next week, guys. I'll pop this up real quick just for our guest for next week. We See Wednesday will feature former Montreal Canadian.
That's awesome.
And Chicago Blackhawks Stanley Cup winning Andrew Shaw, also former Niagara Ice Dog. Shout out Niagara Ice Dogs. I'm from Niagara, so I had to do that. But any final thoughts, Adrian, before we move on here?
I think I mean, just hopefully they can continue to play well throughout the series. And I think honestly, one more thing too I'm going to say is I hope they can out-hit Toronto. I think that's, again, how Columbus beat them last year in the play-in series, is you just wear them down. You wear down those guys on the top six, the speed guys. So hopefully, again, they can be hitting everything in sight, like you guys were saying earlier. Like in that first period, just come out booming, and that's all we can hope for, right? So I think they're we'll see for sure. I'm feeling pretty optimistic. Again, not the job. Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Awesome.
Well,
thanks,
we got thanks for coming on again, Adrian. We always appreciate you. You got a fun, loving spirit about you, so we appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, buddy.
Always a pleasure. You get the professional mic too. I mean, the guy's prepared. Come on, you gotta respect that.
He's unreal.
You gotta respect that. All right, we're gonna jump right into our next guest. We got Blaine coming on. Welcome to the show. You're on with Dale Weise, Steffi, and Drew.
Greetings, team.
How are you?
Jersey rocking too.
Great. Big drink for our Habs tonight. What an effort from them.
Cheers.
What are you drinking there, buddy?
Oh, I'm rocking some Tanqueray gin tonight.
Oh, good man.
It's still early out here in Edmonton, you know?
Oh, beautiful. You're in Edmonton, hey? That's nice. What are you, 8:25 there?
9:25.
Oh, okay.
We're mountain time.
Okay.
So I just wanted to come on because my family had laughed at me. Hey, like, Dale, you'll love this. So March 11th, Habs having a scrummage game against Calgary, and Josh Anderson decides to grab Milan Lucic and have a brawl with him.
Yep.
You know, rocking the 17. Like, I got the Anderson going. He is unreal for us.
Good man. He's incredible.
Oh yeah,
he was unbelievable tonight.
I know. And for all the talk, I mean, there's been lots of banter about the channels regarding Kotkaniemi, Cofield, Romanoff. They're excellent for us, but hey, how about that defense that Bergevin has built? You guys watch them tonight. Those Leafs try and scramble around, and they're fast and they're quick. And our defense, like, Price is really good, but kudos, guys like Edmondson, you don't hear about him much. He's really good. Plays strong in our end every night.
Absolutely. He made some really subtle stick checks tonight where there could have turned into scoring chances. And it's just his experience, his reach, little poke, boom. Like, really, really key plays.
Yeah. And I mean, always love Sherratt. I mean, when Winnipeg let him go, I was just ecstatic he wound up in Montreal. He's a steady Eddie every night, brings a big physical presence.
He's
great having Weber back. As you were talking about, I hope we can figure out the power play here pretty quick. I mean, we had 2 or 3 chances, puck over the glass. You know, that's got to be a gimme on one of those.
Yeah, you got to figure you capitalize on one of the 3. But hey, it didn't hurt us tonight, so we'll take it, put it in the bag, and move on to the next one, right?
And a huge shout out too. I mean, the crux of your channel from the beginning was we want to have positive media. I know it's been stated in the comments. I know we're talking about it, but what a warrior is Carey Price. That guy is he is an absolute warrior for us. He comes out, the media sometimes on his case, fans don't know. TSN is Carey Price washed. The guy's unreal. Carey Price is the real deal out there for us, and nothing but respect.
Blaine, I think you're the real deal too, but you got a fan right here. I don't know if
Carey Light knows. Carey Light knows. Wow.
Yeah.
So
did you see his what'd you think of Carey's new haircut coming in the rink tonight?
I didn't even notice it, to be honest with you. Like, we're in Edmonton, right? So I scrambled home to get in front of the TV at 5 o'clock.
Okay, yeah. I'll give you a break on that one.
Yeah.
He cut the locks. He had it nice, high and tight.
I like this comment too. I like it's nice to see. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, habsitivity. I like, what a word.
Habsitivity.
That's a t-shirt.
Nick's got the merch. She's typing right now. I think I
Habs
see her. She's
tonight
typing
is
right now.
Habsitivity. Love it.
I also think a big thing for us this year that Bergevin addressed, and Dale, you talked about you guys running 2014, right? So maybe when you're playing Boston and stuff, I think sometimes when you're playing those long series, those big bodies can wear on you. And I think Bergevin, when we played Philadelphia last year, he recognized that we were getting worn on and worn on and worn on. So he goes out and gets these big bodies. Hey, like, I think it's going to be a big difference for us. We're not sweeping Toronto, but if we keep things competitive and keep things going, I think those big bodies are huge for us. I think we're going the right direction here. It's great to watch this hockey.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, buddy. That's the game they have to play. That's the way they're built. They're not going to outscore anybody. They're not going to outskill anybody, and that's no disrespect to their team. That's just the way they're built. And if they can continue to play that way, you're going to have success. And when your goaltender's playing that well, man, you have a chance every night.
Blaine, is this your first time on the show, by the way? Or I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's my first time. I came upon
Awesome.
this channel. YouTube knows I searched Montreal Canadian things, so this came up, and
Beautiful.
Obviously, me and my dad, like we're huge fans. Mr. Dutch Gretzky, like we're huge fans. So I was great to see it, and I've been following along all the interviews. It's a different take on the team. Do you know what I mean? We watch you on TV. We don't see the behind the scenes things. I enjoyed the Larac. I enjoyed the Josh Georges. Knuckles on there. Like never watched him play, but Dad said he was awesome. You know what I mean? So
Appreciate
it
that.
was really good.
We're trying to do something different, so I think we're doing a good job so far of that.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for coming on, Blaine. Please call in again. We love new callers, by the way. So like every time a new caller comes in, it just makes us smile, and we love your passion, man. This show is for the fans.
Yeah.
Dale had a vision of this show from the very get-go, and we're trying to execute that as best we can. And we're fans too, no surprise, but we want to do it with you guys, and this is what makes it worthwhile.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks so much.
Hey, thanks, Blaine.
Thanks, Blaine. Awesome, man. Love new callers, eh? It's always such a blast to get them on.
It's great. Yeah, it's nice to see a fresh face. You just, boom, he comes in with that kind of energy. That fires me up.
Yeah, I know. He comes on with, I think he comes on just ready to rock and roll. Steffi, What did you think about, I know we have talked about the lineup a lot tonight and going forward what we should do, but you're a big Jake Evans guy. Gallagher, I think you wanted to touch on a little, or maybe you touched on him already. But just what are your thoughts on just we talked about the lineup and maybe not making any changes, but what do you think we should or shouldn't do next game?
I mean, obviously with Evans out, there has to be one change, but I agree with what we've been talking about so far. Like you stick with the winning lineup. Game twos are huge. Like you either go up 2-0 or it's 1-1 and it's a whole new series. So I think we keep with the winning lineup, and maybe Evans will be back. No one really knows what happened yet, I don't think. But if not, KK can slide in and keep lines sort of similar, other than a few tweaks here and there. And game two, same D, same winning lineup, like I said.
Good points, my friend. I thought Brett Kulak actually. I was impressed with him too. Like he was kind of quiet in a sense, but also a good thing. Like I think, both you guys. What we've been talking about, kind of one of the themes of tonight, is how quiet we are in terms of talking about the D, because as a whole, like they just kind of kept things in check tonight, and then Carey was Carey.
Absolutely, that's the best scenario for the Montreal Canadiens. Outside of maybe Weber on the power play or Jeff Petrie, like they're not a flashy group. They just get the job done, and that's, to me, is the biggest compliment you can get as a hockey player. They get the job done, and I just love the way they cleared the net. There was no pushback from Toronto, and I said it's fine for game one if that was Toronto's game. They're like, we're not going to get involved in that. But like after 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, you start getting bullied around and you don't push back. Eventually, you're in guys' heads, and that to me is going to be an interesting storyline going forward, because you keep getting in scrums, and Austin Matthews is a guy that doesn't need to push back. He's going to do his talking by his play, but there's got to be some pushback from those guys. Simmons is a physical guy. Foligno had a fight with Perry. Okay, but did you see Foligno or Simmons physically impact anybody out there tonight?
Not really.
I didn't see it a lot, and those are the guys they brought in to do that. So, it's going to be interesting to see if Toronto pushes back in any of this in game 2.
And
we
just
got an
to
update
touch.
on Tavares. Yeah,
Oh yeah, go
Steph.
ahead, Tavares.
No, you jump in.
No, I was just going to touch on what Dale was saying before about the good sticks tonight. It's something I feel like we hadn't noticed during the regular season. Their sticks were just extra there tonight. Like for the forwards and the D, they were all rushing back and cutting off passes, pickpocketing them. It was just that extra push with the effort and the sticks, and they were blocking the passes and intercepting.
Yeah, like that's such a good point. How many times did Montreal backtrack and take away scoring chance like inside the top of the circles? Like Byron had one, I think Stahl had one, Anderson had one. Like there were so many like very, very apparent ones where they were like the guys are bagging themselves on boom, take away scoring chance. Like not that it didn't happen during the regular season, like you're saying, but it was just really, really easy to see tonight.
Yeah,
like,
it was noticeable.
Edmonton had a ton. It was
Weber
great.
too, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, having an active stick can be a literal game changer, right? Like you're killing a play that could turn into a scoring chance in an instant. Right?
Absolutely.
So having that active stick is huge. So amazing point, Steffi, for sure. I was going to touch on one thing before we get to the Tavares update, but let's touch on it. We got the Tavares update at the bottom. Test came back clear. He'll stay in the hospital overnight for further evaluation, it looks like. So really no return update on Tavares, but who do you bring in for Tavares? Is Galchenyuk maybe going to get a look? Maybe your old teammate there, Weiser, Chucky, going to come in and maybe see if he can make an impact on the series?
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I could definitely see him being a guy that come in. I'm trying to think of who else they got that could come in, as a centerman, as a skill guy that's going to jump in their top six. They tried to move Thornton up on a couple of shifts and stuff. And God bless his soul, and his beard is beautiful, and he's had an amazing career. But I don't know if he's really that impactful, as a second line center at this point. So it's going to be interesting, man. I think Chucky's played well in a couple of games that he went there. So not that I'd want him to come in and do well. I love the guy as a person, but I don't want him to come in this series and do well. So,
he'd be fired up against the Habs.
Oh, he'd be so fired up against his former team to come back and show him. So I love the guy, but I don't want him to do that in the series.
They also brought up Engvall, and actually Engvall had a pretty good couple of games against Montreal at the end of the season. So I think it's likely Engvall, to be honest. Brooks, I'm not sure. But Engvall or Chucky, I think would be my choices if I had to pick. If I'm a Leaf fan, especially. For sure. And I think Engvall played with Sheldon Keefe in the minors a little bit too, probably. So he probably knows him a little better. So maybe a little more trust there. That goes a long way with guys. He was playing with confidence. Yeah, he had some speed, things like that. So, and then there was something else I want to touch on, but I think we're going to start to wrap up here, guys, just as we get kind of near the end. And a lot of people tuning in live right now, so I just want to call that out to all the new viewers. If this is your first time on the show tonight, this is an interactive show. We would love having you guys on. So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow us on social media. We certainly appreciate that. Like our videos, but it's just been growing. And we mentioned McLean's Pub earlier. They opened as of May 28th. So Game 6 could very well have fans in the building at the Bell Center, up to 2,500 fans. Man. And Nick mentioned this earlier about McLean's Pub, but we eventually would like to do a live show there when things get back to normal. So that'll just be a riot, getting the Habs Tonight team together to meet everybody in person, Dale. Absolutely. That'd be insane, man. I would be so pumped. So, I follow them on social media. So if you guys don't, be sure to give them a follow. If you're in Montreal, be sure to stop in there, do what you can to help local businesses. And I can't wait to do a live show there. We're definitely going to make that happen. So I can't wait to the day that we can make that happen. And speaking of live shows, again, we have it at the bottom of the screen, but Andrew Shaw going to be jumping on with us next week on We See Wednesday. This is your opportunity as fans to interact with two former players. We got Dale Weise, of course, our lovely co-host here, and then we've got Andrew Shaw, former Montreal Canadian, former Chicago Blackhawks, two-time Stanley Cup winner. Going to be a really great show. And his first interview, apparently, Nick told me this earlier, so I don't know if we have insider information, but and then Crushing Cans, yes, we're going to jump to that as well. So Crushing Cans is going to be a lot of fun, Dale. Game 2, this is where it gets really fun, I think, on Habs. Yes. This is one of our, if you guys haven't tuned into Crushing Cans with Dale's brother, Derek Weise, and Brandon Legacy, our other awesome co-host, these guys are a riot, and you want to tune in for Game 2, watch the game live with everybody here on Crushing Cans. It's a riot. It's fun. Dale, you can jump in on that if you want.
Yeah, no, you killed it, man. I had so much fun the last time we did it in the Winnipeg Montreal game, and this is going to be even more insane. A playoff game, it's just so much more intense. Like I get so loud, and I'm always yelling and stuff at games. And it gets. I was like, all my kids were sleeping tonight, and I was going crazy. You know, I'm like every single chance, I'm going nuts, and it'll be so fun. I would tune into that one for sure. So I'm sure we'll have lots of people on our team jump in for a period or a couple minutes, whatever you guys want to do. Make sure you tune in because that one's gonna be a lot of fun.
Steffi?
Sure. Yeah. Last game, I think Derek was celebrating at a replay goals. Like it was getting.
He did do that. I totally forgot about that. Oh man.
Thought Suzuki scored again, but no, a playoff game is gonna be nuts. So yeah, definitely tune into that, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, a lot of energy, a lot of hype. I mean, like who knows what's going to happen in game 2? Like I'm nervous about game 2 now because we got to give props to Dom Ducharme. And thanks Evan for the shout out as well. He did say he wanted to give us a quick shout out there for the show. Evan's a regular viewer of ours. Appreciate that. But I'm nervous about game 2 now, but I'm proud of Dom Ducharme in a sense that like, you know, now the media can get off his back after getting this first game, right? I mean, like, what do you think about that, Dale? Just you love giving it back to the media, as you know.
Oh, I love giving it back to the media more than anybody. You know, all the geniuses and everything. Including myself, I had a couple different line changes, but man, they nailed it. Sorry, their game plan was perfect. They came out, they were physical. You know, the Tavares thing kind of took a little wind out of their sails. Toronto had a little bit of a pushback, not much in the first 10 minutes, and then it was shut down. Carey was lights out, and they got a key goal from a bottom 6 guy, which is huge. So, you know, hats off to the coaching staff. You know, the penalty kill was unbelievable. That's, you know, a lot of that is the players going out and doing the job, but the coaches obviously had a great game plan, and I hope they can keep that going for game 2.
That's really exciting to see too. That 10 minutes there where they were back on their heels. Usually, I don't know, this happened a couple times during the regular season. Once they're back on their heels there, then it's really hard for them to get back into it. But they shook it off and got back into it with a couple. Well, I mean, Byron's penalty kill goal, shorthanded goal was huge. But yeah, it was just nice to see them come back from being on their heels and get the win.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like just that finish from Paulie B. Like I kind of talked about him when he came back into the lineup recently. I mean, Dale, again, another guy with an A on his jersey, a leader. And to do that, like the Paulie's goal has got to fire up the team for game 2.
He's one of those guys that everybody loves, and you watch what he went throughout the whole year, you know, getting put on waivers and scratched and coming back in the lineup and playing so well. He's just one of those guys that everybody pulls for. And in the playoffs, you know, you're excited when anybody scores, but when a guy like that, it just gives you so much more. Like you just get a rush of energy. You're so happy for the guy, a guy that's a heart and soul guy. Everybody loves him in that locker room. I just couldn't be more happy for Paulie B. Like what a goal too. Like 1v1 TSN, get ready because you're going to have a new champion.
Boom. You heard it here first.
He was unreal on when they pulled the goalie too. He was shooting it down the ice. Like he was, dominating that.
He was amazing.
Man down.
Like that was just a highlight reel goal. Like we talked about like all before this series started, like we got to win these 2-1 games. Then like we win 2-1 game 1. Like, are you kidding me?
Unreal.
Lord Byron.
Lord Byron himself.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me ask you though quickly, Dale. What is Paulie like in the room? Is he a vocal guy? Like you don't really know, you don't see a lot of that. So what do you get from Paulie B?
Yeah, he's not the most vocal guy in the room, like during intermissions and stuff, but he's a funny guy. He's got a great sense of humor. You know, he's not the most serious guy. He's not a guy that just sits there and doesn't say anything, but he's not the like rah, you know, kind of talking a lot. He's just kind of an even keel guy. You know, he's a fun guy to be around. Away from the rink, he's pretty talkative. He's a funny guy. So he's just like I said, everybody in that locker room loves him. And when you see a guy go through what he did this year, you just want to pull for the guy. You can't be more happy for him because, like I said, he's a heart and soul guy for the Montreal Canadiens. He's been incredible for them the last couple of years. He's a guy that scored 20 goals in back-to-back seasons, which I think people forget about. So he's a great player, great guy. I couldn't be more happy for him.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. It looks like we're going to wrap our first playoff post game for Habs. This is a first for us, you guys. Let's be sure to call that out.
Absolutely.
First time going post game for a playoff game on Habs tonight. This new venture with Dale Weise here and Steffi Legoux. Am I saying that right, Steffi? By the way,
Yeah, that was good. You nailed it.
Wow,
You're impressive.
No one usually does.
I did my research before the game. So, no, but that's awesome, guys. So thanks so much for everyone tuning in tonight. It's been a blast. All the new callers that jumped on. Please subscribe, like we said, like our videos, share with your friends, tell your Leaf fan friends to jump on for the rest of the series. Like, we want to talk to everybody. We want to have a good time and enjoy this experience. And game 2, guys, game 2 Saturday, crushing cans. Don't forget, jump on with us. Going to be a riot of a show. Hopefully it's a great game too, where there's lots of excitement because you're going to be feeding off of the Habs tonight team during that time. And bring a drink. Doesn't have to be alcoholic, but whatever you got. Bring a bubbly. You like the bubblies too?
Oh, I love the Bublé's, man. I live on them. I live on them.
You crush those, eh? Like you're just
man, I just smash those. I'm the most hydrated guy in the league, man.
I love it. All right, guys and girls. Well, thanks again, you guys. We're going to sign off tonight, but go Habs, go, getting the first win tonight. Such a big deal for this Canadiens team. Getting this first win in this series. It's going to be a tight series the rest of the way. We know it is. But thank you guys for jumping on. We really appreciate it. Like I said, we'll see you Saturday for game 2. Go Habs, go. Thank you guys for joining me as well, Dale and Steffi.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you soon, guys. Cheers.